What's up, guys? Welcome to the next episode of Dev and the Bear. You got me, the bear, and you got Dev. He's over there. We're just gonna give some little news updates. We don't record as often as we used to, so we're gonna play a little bit of catch up. But we're gonna start by talking about something coming up, which is our buddy Miles Banks having his pro debut finally, November 5th, against Mario Moore. Is that the right name?
Yes, sir. Super Mario Moore. Yep.
Miles takes all of these fights very seriously. He doesn't look past anybody. And that's good because he's the one in there. But we don't have to do that. Miles is our buddy. We believe in him. We have faith in him. He's going to run through this guy.
Yeah. I've had some people kind of give me some stuff because of the fact that I support Miles so much, but I'm like, y'all don't understand. You see him fight, you'll see
I was
why.
about to say, have you seen him fight?
Yeah, see him fight, and you see him as well though, and it's like this guy's he's what 6'8", you know,
6'8", 6'9".
Yeah, something like that.
Fury said 6'8".
So he's two of me. Like this dude is giant, and but he's also like super athletic. Like he doesn't move like somebody.
He really is two of you, huh?
What's that?
He really is two of you, huh?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, like he's huge, man, and but like he doesn't move like somebody that's like 6'8".
No, he
like,
moves kind of like a middleweight.
Yeah, like he's got great movement to him. It's like when guys are that tall, they're kind of goofy, you know, and you really don't see that with him. Like look at like somebody who's around that height, like Stefan Struve.
Yeah,
He's
Stefan Struve.
3 inches shorter than Stefan Struve, you know, to put that in perspective. Or yeah, because he was 6'11", right? Or was he 7 foot?
6'11 and a half. He likes for people to add the half.
So
who is it? Alexander Volkov?
Yeah.
He's how tall is he?
6'9",
something like that. So he's about that same height, and he moves really well. I think he would do really well in boxing.
Yeah.
Or kickboxing.
Yeah, I think Volkov would do really well. I think he would do better in boxing. He does well in MMA, but
yeah, he does.
Yeah, but I think with his movement, he would do better with boxing. But with Miles, though, I mean, the guy is just, man, you watch him move and you watch him fight and like the amount of power he packs and he's punched, but he's not a slouch anywhere. He's on top of every little bit of his game. You know, he has great jiu-jitsu. He's got his super fun stand-up. I mean, he's... I feel like people get in there and they get hit by him, or they see how big he really is, and they're just kind of like, oh shit, like I have to fight this guy for 15 more minutes, you know.
Yeah, I use the term freak of nature with him. Very complimentary or complimenting. But he's huge, he moves well, and he has great technique, and you don't find all three of those things. When someone has two, they usually are very much lacking in the other.
And he's hilarious.
He's also a very good person. He's very funny. We have a good time talking with him. But he'll be fighting this Sunday with Fury. He's opening the main card. It'll be on the Fight Pass Facebook.
Yeah.
So make sure to check that out.
And his opponent also, he's 2-2, so he has experience. It's not like they're just... Fury's just trying to get him out into the UFC. Like, this guy's very open about saying, I want nothing but hard fights. Like, I don't want an easy path to get to the big grind stages, you know? And so I think it's really cool. Also, at heavyweight, it's just everybody's a challenge. All it takes is one punch with those guys.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, so a little bit of news. This is where we're going to be playing a little catch up. Everybody by now has seen that Francis Ngannou lost a decision to Tyson Fury, and a lot of people believe he should have won. I didn't see it. I've seen clips of each round just about. It does look like Francis could have won that fight.
Yeah, I was watching it, and once I knew they were going to decision, I was like, yeah, no, there's no way that they're not going to give it to Francis. But it was a non-title fight, which, like, for me though, with like Tyson, with as much of the stuff that he was saying, one of the things I thought was, if you're that confident, why not make it for the title? Go ahead, show that he's that much below you. Like, whenever this fight was happening, it was booked. I was like, I didn't like this fight. I thought Tyson was going to go in there and just piece him up the whole fight. And that's not what happened. He was in there for a fight. You saw he got dropped by Francis in the third round. I mean, which boxing judging makes no sense to me. I thought MMA judging was confusing. Like,
MMA judging isn't confusing. It's just inconsistent.
That's a much better way to put that. But like with boxing though, it's just, if you watch a close fight and for that goes 10 rounds and one person got dropped in the third, then who wins the fight? Usually, from talking with Carlos Nava about this, is the guy who got dropped loses the fight, right? And whoever did the most damage wins the fight. So if it's like so if he inflicted more damage and he also got a knockdown, then why didn't he win the fight?
With boxing, especially at the bigger stages like Francis and Fury, I don't trust it very much. That's I'll just say that I just don't trust it very much. You're not gonna let your greatest heavyweight fighter right now lose to a guy's first boxing match. That's just not what they're gonna do, especially if it goes to decision and he didn't get finished.
Yeah,
and he didn't get battered every single round. Then I don't see it happening. But yeah, I was talking to Brett Kelly about this. I think just about everybody thought Francis wasn't gonna go in there and win that fight. I gave him a puncher's chance because I've always said this. We've had a couple episodes where we talked about the best boxing in UFC, and I said that Francis Ngannou has the best pure boxing in the UFC. I'm glad he proved me right. I still feel like it's right. Max Holloway has great boxing, but it's great MMA boxing.
Right.
And I think this showed the difference. And now hopefully we see Max go box one day. That'd be cool. But Francis showed that he does have good boxing. He's not just a heavy hitter. He does have really good boxing. And he also is a heavy hitter because, he dropped Tyson. But now they're talking about him fighting Deontay Wilder. And I want to see him in a cage again.
They're talking about maybe doing that in MMA.
Him and Wilder?
Yeah.
Please, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
I whatever it is, I want to see it in a cage. I want to see Fury back in, or I want to see Tyson back in, dang it, how did I do that? I want to see Francis back in 4-ounce gloves.
There you go. Triad combat?
I don't care. Wherever.
But yeah.
Wherever, whoever. As long as it's in a cage and it's MMA rules, I'll be happy.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, triad combat's the triangle, the clinch boxing. Yeah.
But MMA rules is what I want to see with the gloves. Hey, it could be in a cage with MMA gloves, but it's kickboxing.
Yeah,
I don't care,
dude.
Just put him back in those gloves.
He looked great. Like, I mean, one of the things I knew that it's like I talked with somebody at work about this when this fight got announced was like what Tyson does to people was he also puts his weight on people a lot, and that's how he wears them down. He did Deontay a lot. It's just the way he puts his weight on people. And it's like you're doing that against Francis Ngannou, who's giant. Like the guy but he's also super strong. So you saw that he was trying to wrap up Francis, and Francis would just counter it and pretty much like out muscle Tyson. You could tell Tyson was like, shit, I can't do what I usually do against guys like this. Like, and it's like, I think that also is just like, kind of looks bad on Tyson because it's like, okay, yeah, you've gotten lazy because you can just do this to whoever you want, and it's like you try doing this against a guy who trains in this area specifically.
Clinching is something his muscles are designed to do.
Yeah, I mean, and he couldn't do that, and I don't know, if they did a rematch, that'd be fun, but I also would just like, for me, it's like watching Francis do exactly what he originally wanted to do in box against the heavyweight champion of the world was super freaking cool. I mean, I think he made like 20 million that fight, and so yeah, man. I mean, he gets to go back home and get spread the love to all those people.
No, do whatever it is he's gonna do. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what he's not gonna do?
What's that?
Get injured, tear his pectoral.
Yeah.
And then back out of a fight.
Yeah.
I know he could, but that's what John Jones did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Also to mention, Francis was coming off a double freaking ACL injury.
I had a great segue that you just ruined.
Sorry.
Way to go.
I feel like nobody was talking about the ACL injuries.
Sorry, Devin. Sorry, Francis. No one cares about your janky legs.
But yeah.
No, yeah, I kind of forgot about that though, and he didn't look like he.
Not at all.
I mean, he wasn't, grappling and shooting for takedowns or anything like that.
But still, for 37 years old,
Yeah, he looked sharp.
So back to John Jones, tore his pectoral. Stipe Miocic retired. Yeah, and we don't like the last image we have, because that's what sucks for these newer fans is they don't get to realize how great Stipe was.
Yeah.
Like, I used to say that, like, when the fight first got booked, I'm like, dude, John Jones is gonna steamroll that dude. And I started thinking about it some more. I'm like Stipe is a natural heavyweight, and he has good grappling. And I know there's Ciryl Gane. I know John Jones fought Ciryl Gane. but Ciryl Gane is a kickboxer. Like he's gonna go in there and train against somebody who's very good everywhere, versus like the guys that Jon Jones trains with at heavyweight. Like they're not the best in the world, you know.
Well, if you're talking about grappling and Stipe's grappling is great, sure. Jon Jones is a genuine wrestler.
Yeah. I mean,
I think talking about how great Stipe's wrestling is, well, that's cool. Jon Jones has great grappling as well. He's actually probably better at grappling than Stipe, just because he's better trained at it.
Yeah, like his grappling is definitely head and shoulders to Stipe's, you know. But like really thinking about it, just like, man, I'm really gonna count Stone Cold Stipe like this, like, you know.
Well, I think the fans who know what's up, they're not counting him out. They're not saying anything like that, because if that fight stayed on the feet, it'd be really interesting. I don't think it would have stayed on the feet. I think Jon knows his grappling is probably what's going to win him 4 out of 10 of his heavyweight fights.
Yeah,
which is pretty solid if you have a tool that's going to help you win 40% of the time. That's not bad. But yeah, I don't think he'd be able to take Stipe down and make him look as uncomfortable as he did to Ciryl. But I do think it would happen if he wanted to. But yeah, we'll never get to see it.
No,
that's really sad. I don't know. Who knows if we'll ever see Jon Jones in the cage again?
Yeah, Dana's still talking about fucking this fight. Like this fight's still happening.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Like I don't know.
And even if it does happen, who is going to care by that point?
Yeah,
because I feel like the second this one got called off, people quit caring. I know I did. Maybe I'm just speaking out of my own perspective, but I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Like I really wanted to see this fight because it was going to be a cool, like almost a fan service. But I don't care that if they ever fight again, either one of them. I look at Stipe and I think of all the fun fights we had. I think of the him and DC going back and forth. I think him and Francis going back and forth. We had great fights with him. And that's what I'll remember from him. Jon, I'll always remember him as the greatest fighter of all time, with an asterisk next to it.
There you go. Yeah, I'm looking at him like, are you sure about that? But like, it's like, I don't know. Jon Jones is, I mean, a lot of people say he's the GOAT, and I definitely see why. But I mean, listen to our older episodes where we talk about that. Y'all know how I feel about that. And if you don't know how I feel about that, Jon Jones got caught twice on steroids with 2 different fucking
picograms. They're legal now.
Yeah. Why are they legal now?
Because Jon Jones.
Yeah, thanks, Jon Jones. So it's like
he paved the way for us.
He got caught with 2 different substances. So y'all do the math on that. And
talking about cocaine?
Oh no. No. Oh, that's 3 now.
Difference.
But no, so
alcohol.
4.
Because he had that too.
You just keep adding it up. Well, yeah, hey, nobody's perfect. It happens, but like what's his name though? Yeah, with Stipe though, man, it sucks because these newer fans only know him for getting knocked out by Francis. When it's like, go back to their first fight, please, and see how Stipe was just doing whatever he wanted with that dude. And another thing someone pointed out was like Jon Jones took 3 years to bulk up. Stipe Miocic took 3 years off to still train. He's already a natural heavyweight, so it's like all he's doing is sharpening his tools and getting ready for that big fight, while Jon Jones is getting his body ready to be able to handle heavyweight, you know?
Well, Jon Jones went out and did handle not just a natural heavyweight, but another freak of nature natural heavyweight.
Yeah.
Someone as big and athletic as Ciryl Gane. And he looked incredible doing it.
Yeah.
But does a rematch go exactly the same way? I don't know. But again, I don't care anymore.
I mean, yeah, he also got Cyryl's weak points. I mean, everybody has some weak points, but I don't know. I just think there's a lot of factors that people weren't really considering with Stipe, but we'll never see it. And because of that, we have a short notice fight, another short notice fight. Sergey Pavlovich taking on Tom Aspinall for the interim heavyweight championship. And usually I love this fight. Like, I think it's a great fight, but like one of these.
I still do love this fight.
But this is something that I want to talk with you about, was just like, are short notice fights, short notice big fights ruining what could have been?
I think in some contexts, yes. Volkanovski taking that short fight against Islam, getting everybody all hyped up, thinking he was going to go in there and put up a great fight like he did last time, and then what happened. Fighters are ready round the clock. When at that level, I want to clarify, at that level, they're ready round the clock. Not all fighters are ready at other points in their career, but at that level, they're all ready to go at a moment's notice. That being said, though, not having a training camp can show, because there's a difference between being physically fit and ready and being trained and focused and ready. And I think he had talked about mentally not being there and being in a dark space and stuff. Well, if he was in camp, I don't think he would have been. I think he would have been a bit more focused, a little bit more pulled into his element and away from the stuff that kind of causes that.
Yeah.
But I'm not him, so I don't know. But in this context for Aspinall and Pavlovich, I don't think so. I think it saves the card. I think it is exciting. If one of those guys was in a training camp and the other one wasn't, I wouldn't be as excited. If they were both in a training camp, I think I'm just as excited for this as if they were both in training camps, because they're both, metaphorically coming off the couch, and it's not like either one of them had more time to prepare than the other. They both had the same amount of time to prepare. Like I said, I bet you they're perpetually training. They're ready to go. They just maybe didn't have a camp like they would have for a regular fight. But I think this doesn't. What's the word? I've been missing my words today. My vocabulary is just bad today. I don't think it completely outright is ruining any kind of career or big fights, but I think we are seeing that no matter how good you are, like Alexander Volkanovski, you can, if you don't have a training camp, it can still show.
Yeah.
Because we've seen people take short notice fights all the time, and they do really well with it. Chris Lieben, we were talking about, he had those 2 short notice fights, two fights within 3 weeks, and he won both of them, and he looked great in both of them. Or was it one short notice fight?
Or like Hazmat. I mean, that's what he got known for.
Yeah. So it can work.
Yeah. Like I definitely see both sides of it. It's not that I'm just like, no,
it's high risk, high reward.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's like I see both sides of it. But like I look at somebody like Tony Ferguson, right? I mean, the dude cut weight twice in 1 month, and then went out there, and he hasn't been the same since his fight against Justin Gaethje. But also, I don't think it's like, I don't ever stick to that point when people talk about that also, because I don't think that's what really ruined Tony Ferguson. I think Tony Ferguson just got old
in the game. He had so many injuries and stuff too.
Yeah, I think the game just caught up to him, and he went in there with a guy who was better than him, and then that's all that happened.
Look at how many wars he had too, not just fights, but he went in there and threw down with a lot of people.
Him and Josh Thompson went at it, Him and Eve Edwards went at it, like
him and Pettis.
Yeah, him and Pettis, him and Cerrone. I mean, it's just like there's so many fights that it's like I don't think the double weight cut really messed him up as much as everyone thinks it does. Like, I mean, he knew what he's getting himself into, but it's also like, look who he's fought after, since the Justin Gaethje fight. He fought Charles. He fought
Chandler.
What's that? Chandler. He fought Beneil Dariush. He fought Nate Diaz. Like a last minute short notice fight, and got caught by a guillotine, and then he just lost to Bobby Green. But even the Bobby Green fight, I still have my own reservations on how that one went south. But
yeah, I don't think that it's having a negative impact on the sport. I think when you have a high risk, high reward situation like that, that's the risk. It can have a negative impact on your career. With Alex, I don't think that's gonna hold him back at all.
Yeah, but Islam also was already in training camp. We're getting ready for Charles. So he was already in that mindset to get ready and be like, hop in there, and he's like, okay, yeah, I'm already fight ready.
Yeah, but how does that affect Alex's career?
And so it just it goes into not really career, just going into that fight. It's just like Alex said, he was having a beer whenever he got the phone call, and it's like, shit. Like, you were kind of just hanging out and then got ready for the fight, not training as serious as you usually does.
A lot of times that's how it happens. Was it Lyoto got called to fight John Jones, and he was like, I'm at the beach with my family. I don't want to. And so they called Chael, and Chael was like, well, shoot, I'll leave my fast food burger here on the counter, and I'll go there now and fight him. I'm sure he was joking, but yeah, a lot of times that's how that stuff happens. Yeah. You're not going to be really ready. But the greats stay ready.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like that's a well-known thing at this point. Most of those guys, maybe they can't all cut 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Like Alex did real fast, but
maybe I'm just bitter.
Yeah, I'm sure you're bitter. I'm sure you're mad and upset and whiny and huffy and puffy, but you know, your boy got knocked out. Get over it. It's not ruining the sport. Shut up.
I don't think it's ruining the sport. I just think
you said I hate this. I hate MMA now. It sucks now.
Yeah, MMA is not the same. Take me back to 2009, back when GSP and John Jones were cool.
Is GSP not cool anymore?
He doesn't fight anymore.
Still cool, dude.
I guess.
You know what he dressed up for on Halloween?
No.
Dressed up as for Halloween? A Mandalorian Jedi. It's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give him that.
I think there's 2 in Star Wars lore. So think about that. He is cool. To this day. To this day. John Jones isn't cool. But that's I'm mad at him.
He was cool in 2009 though.
Yeah, he was. Before he slapped his wife.
Yeah.
We'll say slap.
Oh, and then ran from a car accident.
Yeah, and the pregnant lady.
Yeah. And went back for his weed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, though, yeah, short notice. I think it's cool. Saves a card. Because what happened with Chael and that whole thing
because he was supposed to fight Dan Henderson.
It was and then Dan Henderson pulled out and nobody would take the fight.
Yeah.
And Chael saved the whole card.
UFC 151. And Dana White actually referenced that the other day in an interview. And he was like, you have guys that just take fights and, you know, they save cards. And then you have certain coaches that will talk them out of it, like Greg Jackson did with John Jones. It's like, you're still a little bitter about that, I can tell.
Well,
they canceled the whole fucking event.
Yeah.
Because their champion wouldn't take Chael Sonnen on like a week's notice.
And I think that's a good call.
Yeah, it's a great call.
Because you look at what John was doing to Chael. I still stand by it. Chael, sure, he was hurt. You're in a fight. You're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
I think he was perfectly fine. I think if they had let that bell ring. Sorry.
Ring.
Again, my vocabulary is off today.
Yeah.
If they had let that bell ring, Chael would have stood up, gone to his corner. John would not have been able to continue, and he would have been the champion. That's what would have happened if they hadn't stopped that fight. I don't think Chael was out of that fight. He was just in a really bad position, and that's why they stopped fighting.
He would have kept the promise to his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not arguing that they shouldn't have stopped the fight. I'm fine with them stopping the fight. But
yeah,
it's like that's one of those ones where you didn't have to stop the fight.
Then also
and think about that with short notice. Sorry to keep going, but think about that with short notice. Chael stepped up, saved the card. Kind of, you know, in the long run. And then imagine what could have happened. You know, Bisping, we have Bisping. He stepped up all the time.
Yeah.
Ended up winning a championship. So, I don't know. Things get a lot more interesting when the short notice fighters win the fights.
It does, yeah, for sure. It's when they're fun, but lately it hasn't been fun anymore. And so, also speaking of which, some more short notice stuff. What's it called? They called Sean Strickland a fight to Khamzat.
Yeah, I saw that.
You know how fucking disrespectful that is?
I'm glad that Sean called it out for what it was.
Yeah.
It made no sense.
Like, why would you call your champion to go and fight this guy on 2 weeks' notice? No, he doesn't be taking a fucking fight on 2 weeks' notice, dude. Like,
and here's the thing. Sean could totally do it.
Yeah. Oh, well,
It's the fact that Khamzat doesn't deserve it. And Sean's words, I agree with so freaking much. And someone who's not really ranked in middleweight came to middleweight, fought a welterweight on short notice, and gets a title shot. It makes no sense.
Yeah,
I don't care who the welterweight is. Kamaru is not a ranked middleweight. How does that get you to a title in middleweight? Rankings freaking matter, and I hope
beats the shit out of him.
I hope Sean makes rankings great
because
again.
All I saw with Khamzat is that he didn't work on one thing. It's his gas tank. Because yeah, he got him down in the third round, but he didn't do anything with it. There was no damage there. When they got on the feet, it was Kamaru's fight the whole fight. I think Kamaru's issue was his confidence. He didn't realize that he didn't have confidence on the feet, but he was winning on the feet, you know. And I think also just Kamaru taking a short notice middleweight, going up a weight class, you fight, you know. I think that also fucked with that a little bit because it's like he's not fully prepared to go against middleweights, guys who weigh 200 pounds. He goes against guys who weigh about 185, 190, which I know y'all say, oh, well, that's middleweight. No, it's not because they're fucking rehydrated. So the next day he's going against a guy who's easily 200 pounds the next fight. And it's like, who has a wrestling caliber of somebody like Hazmat. Like, I don't know. I don't agree with him getting a title shot. I think it's super shitty that they hit up Sean Strickland to come in there and fight for him.
Yeah.
Like, why would you call your champion, dude? You know how disrespectful that is? They don't have any belief in him as champ. That's what I think it is. And
well, he goes out there with the freaking iCarly stance.
Yeah.
You know, what do you expect?
But it works for him, you know?
One day it won't.
Well, we've already seen it as we have already seen it not work. But yeah. I don't know, man.
Give him Khalil Roundtree. Give Khalil Roundtree the title shot. Why not? Who cares about rankings, right?
Yeah.
You know it'd be a really fun fight? Khalil and freaking Sean.
Yeah, it'd be a really fun fight.
Khalil's not a middleweight. Who cares? Oh, Khalil's a middleweight. But he's not ranked. Who cares? We don't care about rankings.
Yeah.
I'm losing my argument here. But yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts on short notice fights? Are they affecting the sport? Are they affecting rankings? Are they affecting anything? Do we care? Do we just want to see fights? Let us know. Hit us up on Instagram, Devin the Bear. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe. That's always helpful.
Appreciate the subscribes if you do.